Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise and get straight to the essential insights from the most fascinating topics. Today, we're plunging into the exciting, evolving world of foldable phones. We've got a special focus on the just-launched Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Our mission for you is to unpack what this new device means, not just for Samsung, but, for the entire future of foldables. So when we look at the foldable phone market, well, 2025 feels like a real turning point, doesn't it? What's the bigger picture looking like for this segment right now, especially after what seemed like maybe a bit of a plateau?
Absolutely. Yeah, 2024 indeed saw relatively flat growth for foldables globally, but analysts like Counterpoint Research, they're actually forecasting a robust comeback and a true transformation for 2026. So this isn't just a lull, it's more like a strategic retooling across the whole industry. It suggests that companies are using this year to plan for pretty significant shifts, maybe waiting for breakthroughs in, say, battery density or advanced displays, or maybe even entirely new form factors, really setting the stage for a more unified, more impactful push next year. And in many ways, the Z Fold 7 becomes, well, kind of like a bellwether for what might be next for everyone.
That's a great way to put it, a strategic retooling. So yeah, not just a slowdown, but a deliberate regrouping. And Samsung isn't alone in this space, obviously. Who are some of the other key players pushing the boundaries, and what unique challenges or, innovations are they bringing that Samsung has to contend with?
Right. We're seeing some incredibly strong contenders,
Yeah.
and each one's carving out their own niche, it seems. For example, the Oppo Find N5. It's been praised as the best overall by Phone Arena, really redefining the book-style foldable with its record-breaking thinness, just 8.93 millimeter folded, and it still packs a massive 5,600 milliliter battery.
Wow, that's thin and big battery.
Exactly. Then there's the Honor Magic V3. That one actually holds the crown for overall thinness at an impressive 4.35 millimeter folded.
4.35, that's crazy thin.
It is. And if sheer endurance, like battery life, is your priority, the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro leads the pack with a 520 milliamp battery. Even Google's Pixel 9 Pro Fold is getting praise for how much it feels like a normal phone when it's closed. More focus on that familiar user experience. So what's striking here isn't just the individual specs, but how each player is picking a sort of distinct battleground. Oppo pushing design but keeping battery, Honor dominating thinness, Vivo on endurance, Google on that mainstream feel. This fragmented innovation suggests the market hasn't really coalesced around a single best foldable experience yet, which means Samsung isn't just competing on specs, they're competing on defining what a foldable should even be.
That truly sets the stage, yeah. With so many players innovating, pushing different boundaries, Samsung clearly needed to make a statement with the Z Fold 7, which, as you said, just officially launched today in New York City. So let's zero in on Samsung's answer to all this intense competition. What are the headline-grabbing physical upgrades, the things that really jump out? What do they mean for how you'll, hold and use this device?
Okay, yeah, here's where it gets really interesting. Samsung has made some truly significant strides in design. They've prioritized what many users have asked for: a thinner, lighter foldable. The Z Fold 7 is now their thinnest and lightest foldable ever. When folded, it measures a mere 8.9 millimeter thick and an impossibly svelte 4.2 millimeters when unfolded.
4.2 millimeters.
Right. And to put that in perspective, it actually weighs less than their traditional flagship, the Galaxy S25 Ultra. It comes in at 215 grams compared to the Ultra's 218 grams.
Okay, 3 grams doesn't sound like much, but I guess over a whole day.
Exactly. It might not sound like a lot, but for a device you carry all day, it's kind of like the difference between holding a paperback and a hardcover,
Yeah.
Subtly but significantly lighter.
That thinness is certainly a remarkable engineering feat for a foldable, and it sounds like Samsung is really pushing this into ultra territory, as Tech Radar put it. But does achieving that come with any potential compromises? I mean, how did they manage to make it so slim, but also make sure it's durable enough, especially around that crucial hinge?
That's a great point, and Samsung seems to have balanced those aspects quite well, actually.
Yeah.
They've completely revamped the Armor Flex hinge, making it both thinner and lighter. And they've also engineered a new multi-reel structure inside. This not only dramatically reduces the visible crease,
Oh, good.
yeah, but it also significantly strengthens the overall durability. The phone boasts an advanced Armor aluminum frame and hinge housing. It's 10% stronger than before. Plus, you get Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the back and Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 on the cover display.
Ceramic too, that sounds tough.
It is. So it's genuinely built to be tough, resist those everyday bumps and scrapes while staying sleek. And for those who love a splash of color, you can find it in blue shadow, silver shadow, and jet black. And there's also an exclusive mint color, but that's only through Samsung.com.
Right. So it's not just about getting thin, it's about being robust too. That combo of the revamped hinge and the stronger materials, it really addresses those sort of long-standing concerns about foldable fragility. Suggests Samsung is serious about making these everyday reliable, not just niche tech curiosities. Okay, now moving from the outside in, what about the displays and the all-important camera system? What's the visual experience like when you're interacting with the Z Fold 7?
The displays are definitely a highlight, and they show Samsung has listened to user feedback. The cover screen is now wider, a 6.5-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X with a more traditional 21.9 aspect ratio.
Ah, so less like a remote control.
Exactly. This is a big deal because it makes using the phone when closed feel much more like a standard smartphone. Then when you unfold it, you're met with this expansive 8-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X main display. The size actually matches the iPad mini.
An iPad mini in your pocket, basically.
Pretty much. It's incredibly vibrant, peak brightness of 2600 nits, super smooth 120 Hz refresh rate. Everything from scrolling social media to watching movies is going to look fantastic.
And what about that infamous crease? We've heard a lot about it in previous generations. Is it still noticeable? How does it impact the viewing experience?
It's still there. You can't completely eliminate it yet, and you may feel it when you swipe across. But Samsung has worked to make it less noticeable, especially under softer lighting conditions. For many people, I think it becomes an almost subconscious presence, especially when you're engrossed in content. But yeah, it's important to set expectations. It's not completely invisible.
Okay, got it. Let's turn to the cameras then. This, for many users, has historically been a crucial area where foldables kind of lagged behind traditional flagships. Has the Z Fold 7 finally closed that gap, or are there still trade-offs being made somewhere?
This is where the Z Fold 7 makes a truly significant leap. It addresses a major pain point for enthusiasts. It finally adopts the 200MP main camera sensor from the Galaxy S25 Ultra.
Finally. The Ultra sensor.
Yes. This is a massive upgrade. It promises 4x more detail and 44% brighter images than its predecessor. So what this means for your photos is incredibly sharp, vibrant images, even in tricky low-light conditions. It also includes a 12MP ultra-wide, a 10MP 3x telephoto, a 10MP cover camera, and a noticeably improved 10MP main screen camera. That's a big jump from just 4MP on the Fold 6.
Okay, that inner camera needed improvement.
Definitely. And the new ProVisual engine also brings AI-powered editing tools like Photo Assist and Generative Edit, optimized for that large screen so you can easily enhance or manipulate your images right there on the device.
And on the topic of cameras, there's always been a lot of discussion around that inner display camera, particularly how visible it is.
Sure.
What's the situation with the under-display camera tech on the Z Fold 7? Has it evolved, or has Samsung taken a different path this time?
Yes. That's an interesting shift, actually. While previous models tried to hide the camera under pixels, for that uninterrupted screen, the Z Fold 7 now features a visible punch hole cutout on the main display.
Oh, really? So no more UDC?
Nope. This decision was apparently made to accommodate a wider 100-degree field of view and deliver significantly clearer photos and video from that inner camera. So while some users might miss the completely uninterrupted screen, no modern tablet has a cutout in the display area, right?
Yeah.
The improved quality for video calls and selfies is the trade-off. It's Samsung prioritizing function and quality over maybe that aesthetic ideal in this case.
Okay. So with all these impressive design changes and camera features, what's powering this device under the hood? What kind of performance can you expect from the Z Fold 7, especially with all the talk about on-device AI?
Right, performance. The Z Fold 7 is equipped with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy chip. This is a customized version of the powerful Gen 8 Elite processor, designed specifically to handle AI tasks even faster. We're talking about serious performance boosts across the board here. The NPU, the neural processing unit crucial for on-device AI, sees a 41% gain. The CPU for general computing is 38% faster. And the GPU for graphics and gaming is 26% more powerful than the last gen.
So it's not just faster apps, it's about making AI stuff feel instant.
Exactly. It's about making features like real-time AI processing feel seamless and responsive. It comes with a solid 12 GB of RAM standard. And for those who truly want to push its limits, there's a 16 GB RAM option available, but only with the 1 TB storage model.
That sounds like a beast for performance. And how does that translate into the actual software experience? Especially with all the buzz around AI integration, what new tricks can the Z Fold 7 perform for you?
Well, it ships with Android 16 and One UI 8 right out of the box, offering deep integration with Google Gemini AI. This means you get features like Gemini Live. The AI understands not just your voice, but also what it sees on your screen. So you can have incredibly intuitive interactions, like asking for info on a product just by pointing your camera at it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And Circle to Search lets you quickly look up anything on your display just by drawing a circle around it. And the AI results view makes multitasking really seamless on that large screen. You can drag and drop AI-generated content directly from multi-window. Kind of transforms how you research or create. Plus, the classic foldable features like Flex Mode, turning the phone into a mini laptop for hands-free stuff, and Samsung DeX for a full desktop experience, they're refined and optimized for all that power.
It certainly sounds like a powerful productivity machine, and for a device of this caliber, longevity is key. What about software updates? That can be a real concern for the lifespan of a premium smartphone.
Samsung is truly stepping up their game here. They're offering a generous 7 years of regular software and security updates.
7 years, wow.
Yeah. That means your Z Fold 7 should be supported all the way until 2031, which is a huge plus for a device this expensive, ensuring you get new features and security patches for years to come.
Now, let's talk about the elephants in the room for many potential buyers, the price and the battery. How much will this premium device actually set you back? And how is Samsung justifying that cost?
Okay, the price tag. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 starts at $1,999 in the US. That's a $100 price increase over the Z Fold 6.
Another $100. Ouch.
Yeah, and this pricing trend seems consistent across regions like India and France too. What's fascinating here is that a Phone Arena poll showed 76% of users feel this price hike isn't justified, especially after last year's increase. Even with all the new improvements, it kind of indicates a clear sentiment that consumers are reaching their perceived limit for foldable pricing.
That's a strong reaction, 76%. So are there any ways to soften that financial blow for someone considering the upgrade?
Absolutely. Samsung is keenly aware that this extreme pricing, as Tech Radar called it, needs some cushioning. We're offering significant trade-in deals, potentially up to $1,100 off.
Okay, that helps.
Right. Plus promotions like free storage upgrades on certain models. And of course, the major carriers, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, they're expected to have generous deals too, possibly offering up to $1,000 off with eligible trade-ins and plans. So it's clear Samsung wants to make it as accessible as possible despite that high starting price. And we're also seeing more affordable entry points in the broader foldable lineup, like the new Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE. That's priced around $1,172, which is significantly cheaper than the main Flip 7.
Okay. And speaking of potential pain points, let's address what many consider the other elephant in the room after price, battery life. Has Samsung managed to boost endurance in this new, thinner form factor? Or are we looking at the same old story for foldables?
This is an important question, yeah. And it's where the Z Fold 7 retains the same 4,400 mAh battery capacity as its predecessor.
Still 4,400.
Yep, same size. Now, while its battery life is competitive within the foldable category, like Phone Arena testing showed the Z Fold 6 got 12 hours and 42 minutes of web browsing. It can still lag behind traditional flagship phones like the S23 Ultra, and even some other foldables like that Honor Magic V5 with its 5,820 mAh battery, or the OnePlus 13 with its massive 6,000 mAh silicon carbon battery. Many folks in the community have voiced disappointment about the lack of an upgrade here.
So why stick with the same battery size when competitors are clearly pushing for higher capacities? It feels like a curious decision, especially given the user feedback.
Well, discussions in the community point to a few factors. It's likely a direct consequence of Samsung's push for extreme thinness. Adding a larger battery would probably compromise that design goal.
The thinness trade-off again.
Right. There are also maybe considerations about past battery incidents, like the Note 7, which make manufacturers incredibly cautious. Some even point to potential legal or regulatory limits on higher capacity batteries for non-Chinese OEMs, original equipment manufacturers due to different battery tech and safety rules. So despite calls from users for larger batteries, Samsung seems to be banking on software and chip efficiency to manage power. And charging speeds also remain at 25W wired and 15W wireless, which, some users find slow, especially when competitors offer much faster charging.
Okay. And finally, for the S Pen enthusiasts among our listeners, what's the news on stylus support for the Z Fold 7?
Unfortunately, yeah, the Z Fold 7 drops S Pen support entirely. No S Pen. Wow, that's big. It is. This was likely a significant trade-off needed to achieve that incredible thinness. It involved removing the digitizing layer, that special screen component that allows the S Pen to work precisely. So for many longtime Samsung users who rely on the S Pen for productivity, for creativity, this is a significant drawback. It might make them pause before upgrading, for sure.
Right. So, after diving deep into the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, we've explored its groundbreaking thinness, the upgraded camera, the powerful AI, and also the ongoing compromises in battery and now S-Pen support. But what does all this mean for you, the listener, who might be considering making the jump to a foldable device?
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really boils down to balancing that innovation with practicality and your personal use case. Foldables offer a truly unique tablet-like experience in your pocket. Advanced multitasking. That can be incredibly valuable for productivity users, students, anyone who just values that large screen real estate. However, you're still looking at a higher price tag compared to traditional flagships, even with those trade-in deals. And while durability has come a long way, devices like the Z Fold 4 were engineered to withstand 200,000 folds. That's like 5 years of typical usage.
That's pretty good.
It is, but lingering concerns about the crease and maybe the shift to that visible punch hole camera might be factors for some. The Z Fold 7 significantly closes the gap on camera performance, finally bringing a true flagship-level main sensor. That's huge. But battery life, despite efficiency improvements from the new chip, may still require a shift in your charging habits if you're a heavy user. Ultimately, it's a decision about how much you value that transforming form factor and if its unique benefits outweigh these specific trade-offs for your daily life.
That's a perfect summary. Yeah, it really does come down to your personal priorities and how much you value that transforming form factor. Okay, let's unpack this for a final thought then. Considering how quickly foldable technology is evolving and the intense competition from other brands pushing innovations like, larger batteries or even those trifold concepts we're starting to see on the horizon, do you think the Z Fold 7's combination of cutting-edge thinness and a truly flagship camera, despite its premium price, and those conservative battery choices, is truly enough to push foldables into the mainstream now? Or will we see an even more radical transformation next year before they truly become ubiquitous? Something for you to ponder. Thanks for tuning in to the Deep Dive. We hope this conversation has given you some valuable insights into the exciting world of foldable phones. Join us next time for another deep dive into the topics that matter most to you.